Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, sir. Sir, we have anchors Satvik Jain and Drishti Kingrani.
Good
Uh,
evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
Please
evening.
start the session and then they will hand it over to you.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Perfect.
Please.
ये वाली
Okay,
आईडी पे कुछ
so a
इश्यू हुआ था
very
तो
warm
टेक्निकल
welcome to
इश्यूज की वजह से वो
respected
वाली लिंक पे शिफ्ट हो
dignitaries,
गया.
starling participants, our curious attendees, and Ashish sir too. I, Drishti Kingrani,
And I, Satvik Jain.
welcome you all to East Cell in collaboration with Phoenix Club
अरे तो
enlightening event
बारिश में बिजी
Game
है
Up,
चलो.
an amazing career-oriented webinar on the topic.
Exponential career growth through game development. From 2D games like Tetris to multiplayer games which are played in real time like COD and BGMI, video game culture has also evolved with the progression of
हाँ मैं चेक
internet
कर कर
and
आता हूँ.
the increasing popularity of mobile games. Gaming industry has been growing on an expeditious rate since then.
जसपाल
The
तुम यहाँ पे
vastness
कोऑर्डिनेट
of the
करना,
gaming
2 मिनट आ रहे हैं.
industry can be
Yes,
guesstimated
sir,
by the
I am here.
fact that there are over 18.5 thousand game developers present all around the world, and the diversity of professions supported by
हाँ प्रॉपर है.
fraternity range from game designers and game developers to gameplay testers and even audio engineers.
Due to the arrival of COVID-19, we all witnessed the rise of esports, due to which the lines between esports, live streaming, and even influencer marketing have become blurred, adding to the enormity of the gaming culture.
Before going further on the session, I would like to inform you all that attendees can send their queries to the link mentioned below in the chat box as well as through links sent in the WhatsApp groups.
And at the end of the session, you will not only receive learnings, but also an opportunity to grab certification of participation.
Now I'd like to introduce to our speaker for today's session who will enlighten us more about gaming industry.
From digital marketing to developing apps and games to building his own organization, Carina Softlabs Incorporated, our speaker from today's session has done it all and thus has proved his domination in the entrepreneurial, technical, and management world. He is one of the leading brains behind the gripping game, The Little Guardian. Starting from the humble town of Jhabua, Sir has over a decade-long experience in the IT industry in distinct roles.
Now, without further ado, I would like to call Mayank Pande sir so that he can share his experience with us and educate us about functioning of gaming industry. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot for such a nice introduction about the gaming industry and about me. And I'm really sorry that I started before. I was not aware of it. So,
No problem.
No problem, sir.
Perfect. So, as you all of you are very young and you might be playing games like PUBG, BGMI, COD, like my friend Satvik mentioned. So, there must always be a query that how we can make such games and how to develop such games, how can be a brand or how to earn money from games. So today our PPT, our presentation is going to cover all such things which will guide you that how you should make your career and why you should make your career into game development. So let's begin with it. As you all know that gaming industry is the second largest industry in the world, and these stats are like 6 months old. After the launch of metaverse and NFT based gaming, everything went fast forward, and the gaming industry is the highest growing industry in the world at the moment. Initially, the gaming is started over consoles. There were 8-bit games, then there were 16-bit games, and today we all are aware about the PlayStation 5, Xbox 360, and all such consoles which are giving us very realistic and AAA games. The number of devices has been increased. There are platforms like Stadia which are allowing us to play games on multiple devices, syncing between multiple devices, and all such things. So gaming industry is going very good. Now, there are different type of trends in the gaming industry at the moment. The first part is cloud gaming, which includes the platforms like Google Stadia. It is a product from Google, which allows a PlayStation 5 player to play with his or her friend who is playing on PC or on mobile. It also allows the games to be streamed live on your browser, so you don't need a compatible hardware to play very high realistic games. The games are running on the cloud engines, and then you can enjoy it with the same quality on your laptop over a browser. Virtual reality, or what we can call it today, is called as metaverse. Virtual reality is an artificial environment, a 360 environment that we create using game engines and multiple libraries, which changes the world around you, and you can see everything like everything is happening around you. The metaverse is a bit different as compared to virtual reality. You need glasses to experience the metaverse, but it is a combination of AR, VR, and cryptocurrencies. What people are trying to build is a complete different world. I hope you all have must watch the movie Ready Player One. So if you have watched it, then you can connect what the metaverse is all about. Lastly, we would like to discuss about blockchain and NFTs into the game development. NFTs are the digital art which are sold all over the internet using cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, or we can say Solana. NFTs are the tokens which we use to purchase the digital art, and this market is also growing exponentially. So recently, as per the trends, like you must have played BGMI, so you always try to purchase some skins, or you try to purchase some characters, clothes, or anything else. But now using NFTs, you can again sell them, you can auction them, and you can earn money by playing the games. Before, the only mechanism to earn money by gaming was through esports. But today the world has changed, and now if it is your hobby, then also you can earn a lot of money using NFT based games. The other part of gaming includes esports, artificial intelligence, mobile gaming, cross-platform gaming, and open source gaming. Esports, as you all know, it represents like it is like the Olympics of the gaming world. You can play, you can be part of the team, you can win the games, and that way how you can make an esport team for yourself. Now coming to the career options in the gaming industry, there are different type of things you can do into the gaming industry. Like not everyone is destined to become a programmer, not everyone is as creative to be a game designer, so you can be anything as you like. Here in the table you can see that there are different positions where you can work on. The current list shows the list of designing opportunities which you can have, like game designer, system designer, level designer. Level means the environment design, like the levels that you play in Mario and other things. There is game programmer, AI game programmer, gameplay engineers, and other positions. And the salary ranges are mentioned, which shows that the game industry is good for your career options. Coming to the next part, there are different type of game genres which are available, and as per my knowledge, everyone is aware of them. So I'm not going to explain this, but this is just for your information. So in case you want to understand what type of game is what, then we can do it in the Q&A session that we will be having shortly. This is the important section where I would like to explain that there are two types of game engines available publicly for everyone to learn programming and to develop your own games, which includes Unreal Engine, and you all know Unreal Engine by BGMI or PUBG, and there is Unity Game Engine, and the most popular game from them is LOL was built with Unity, and Angry Birds was built with Unity Game Engine. There is slight difference between both the game engines. Unreal Engine works with C and C++, so you don't need any kind of specialization in any of the higher end languages. You can work with C and C++. Plus, Unreal Engine gives you visual programming mechanism, which is through blueprints. Along with that, with Unreal Engine 5, they have released the HDMI level of graphics, HDRP level of graphics, high definition render pipeline, it is known as. And due to it, we can make hyper realistic games. Means it is tough to understand that, yeah, what is reality and what is a game. With Unity is a game engine launched 5 years back, so this game engine is still under development. But for hyper casual games and casual games, this is the best engine you can go for. In terms of learning or means how to make yourself comfortable with any of them, I would suggest Unity is a game engine which is easier to learn. The game development process is faster with Unity, but Unreal gives you a very hyper realistic environment and graphic processing. So it depends on your game type that what game engine you should go with. Both the engines are good. Both the game engines are available for free, so you can try making games. You can publish the games. You can monetize the games, because both the game engines are providing you the services which provides you in-depth analysis that users are enjoying your game or not, you are making money out of game or not. You can track the user data and everything else which is required. Now, to learn game development, there are three things which are very important. First thing is, like, all of you are technical students, you people are learning programming and stuff, but apart from that, there is a very basic thing which is required. For game development, physics is very important as compared to anything else, because what in a game, whatever things we are making are affected by the physics of the environment. If you want a car to run, then you have to apply physics, and means you mean to apply friction on the road, you need to apply friction on the tires, then only your car is going to run on the environment. If you want to make a shooter game, then there has to be gravity, because unless then your bullet can go into any direction. So your physics has to be good. Now the process to learn game development is that first you need to decide a game engine, that what game engine you want to go with. Unity has the capability to develop a hyper realistic game, but it requires a lot of more efforts as compared to Unreal Engine. So if you want to be a AAA game developer, then I suggest you should go with Unreal Game Engine. But if you want to be a complete game developer, then you can go with Unity 2, because Unity gives you opportunity to develop 2D games, 3D games, and everything else. Next step is that there are multiple tutorials available on their official site, which you can go for. You can start with the basic introduction of the UI, the IDE that you will be using, which can be Unreal Engine or Unity Engine. Apart from that, there are many channels available on YouTube which are training people for free on game development stuff. You can you can pick up a game like Flappy Bird, or you can pick up a game like Angry Bird, and you can find a tutorial, you can start building the game. Now, the most important thing is that if you start developing a 3D game directly, then I don't think it will work. The reason is, first you need to get used to the environment of the game engine. You need to understand how a game engine works, how the properties work. How can you show that, yeah, this is the place where there should be friction, there should be gravity, or a person can pass through wall or not. These are all the properties that we need to define into the game engine. So I suggest first we should learn the 2D game development. 2D games include all the hyper casual games that you must have played, all the casual games that you have played. Angry Birds come into the casual games, and such type of games is covering around 60% of the gaming market. Reason being, there are many people who still love to play Candy Crush. I think you must also have played Candy Crush a lot. So 2D game development is something which is very popular between kids and between higher aged people. After you are good with 2D game development and you are comfortable with all the coding parameters, all the properties that you need to set up to set an object into motion, then I think you should move on to the 3D game development. 3D game development consists of requires a bigger team to work on, because there are multiple things that you need to manage. First thing, the environment. When you are developing or designing a level, you need to plan it well so that your game is strategically planned and the user enjoys playing it. So for that, you need an environment artist. Second, you need a 3D character designer who will model your character the way you want. Next, we will need a rigger who will put bones and muscles into the body. And then we will need an animator to create all the animations of the game. Like when you play BGMI, there are different animations involved, there are different actions involved. So this complete team will make that possible. Now comes the role of the game programmer, who will bring all those into the game engine, apply all the properties, and then he's going to develop a 3D game. And in 3D game and in 2D game, you can develop multiplayer games, which is very easy using the Photon game engine, if you have heard about it. It is a game engine available for free, which you can integrate in your game and you can test it out. But when you go on the production level, then there are some charges for the server that we have to pay. Next part is augmented reality. Augmented reality is putting your 3D objects or putting your reality over the actual reality you have. It requires a phone and an augmented reality app where you have to point the camera on any surface, and using surface detection, any 3D object can be placed into the real environment and you can watch it using your mobile phone. Next is virtual reality, where you need to wear the glasses and you can experience a whole new world. Apart from this too, there is another term which is very important and which is on a boom in the market, which is called extended reality. Extended reality is the mix of augmented reality and virtual reality. where the glasses you wear gives you the complete vision of the real world, plus on your glass we can project anything. And so you can develop an application which can be used for army training purposes, which can be used for any kind of training like mechanical engineering and other stuff. These are the differences between AR and VR for the people who are not aware about it. AR is where the system augments the real world scene, while in VR you are completely immersed into the virtual environment because you cannot see, you cannot feel, or you cannot hear anything from the real world. AR user always have a sense of presence in the real world, and in VR it is not possible. And rest of the points are like quite self-explanatory, so please go through them. The most important difference is the industry where these applications are used. Like in augmented reality, the best part means the best application is in the real estate. Like whenever someone wants to buy a property or want to visit it, then they don't need to go into the actual apartment to see it. People can project the complete entire building on your table, and you can see, you can operate it, you can go inside a room and you can see how it is going to look like. So it will give you a very real experience. While for virtual reality, the things are different. You can actually walk into the room, you can turn your head around and you can see things. So these are the basic differences between AR and VR. Now I will ask Ayush to share the screen and show a basic gameplay of how to develop a game with Unreal Engine.
Sure, sir. Mm,
This is
mm,
the basic interface of Unreal Engine, where you can see multiple
uh,
options, multiple things, objects and everything else. Ayush, I want you to explain what the complete ID is about, where you have to keep your files, where are the other options and everything else.
okay. So this is the basic structure of Unreal Engine, where in the left side here is a play sector tab from where we can drag drop our objects like sphere, cylinder, cones, camera, all the whatever we needs we can just drag it out over anywhere where we want to keep this. Okay, okay, like this. And this is our content browser where all the files we use like art, assets, meshes, textures, blueprints, animations, and all the other stuffs we just keep it over here in content browser. Okay. In the right side, we can see here is a detail panel which give us all the information about the assets that we currently selected. Like here is one directional light in the scene, and here is the property of directional light where the location of directional light, rotation, scale, and mobility. All these properties, these are editable. Mm,
I
we
would
can.
like to add something here. Like
Mhm.
Ayush is explaining about the lighting. So to make a game hyper realistic, lighting is one of the very important thing, and you need to have a very separate, a very unique lighting artist for it. Like if you are playing a cartoonish game, the lighting has to be slightly pink or slightly bluish. But if you are playing a hyper realistic game, then the lighting has to be yellow. It represents sun, and we use the same parameters for it. We can define intensity, the location, and everything else. Yes, Ayush.
Okay, so here in this scene there is one landscape. Um, we just started making track from this landscape, and uh, we uses this landscape tool for sculpting and all this giving shapes to this landscape. We can just okay. we can sculpt down and sculpt up wherever we want to create some roads and all the mountains and hilly areas. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. After creating developing this road, it it was like this when we developed the road with our spline tool. Okay. There is also a spline tool which helps in creating our road. We can give its direction with the help of spline. Wh- Yes.
The things you are seeing at the moment is generally part of the designer team. They plan the map, they design it over Maya or Unreal directly, and they provide it to the developer for the development purposes. The reason to show you these tools is that if you want to create a racing game, or if you want to create any type of hyper realistic game in Unreal Engine, there are tools available, there are packages available which you can import, and you can give it a try. Yes, Ayush.
Okay. After we created this track, then we worked on lightning for this scene and the props and set up these props over this track completely. Okay. Um, by setting up lighting, the track look improves its quality and all this
It
stuff.
is the same track that you have been seeing, but after the complete designing has been done, this is the final of the track. And this is for an actual project. If you want to check out, it is called Dirt Designs. It is an NFT based game where there would be multiplayer car racing between people, and they can bet on the race and other stuff. Yes, Ayush, you can continue.
Okay. And then the next step is bringing our vehicles and all these cars in our scene so we can test it out and run it. Okay. Here is a player start. It is a Unreal tool. Whenever we start our game, the car will get spawn at this point. We can drag this from this place actor side, and as soon as we hit play button, it will spawn the car over the player area, and we can just try it out. There is lots of animations and stuffs like suspensions and everything is there in this car. Like there is a rider animations. Okay. This is our car which we brings it in that map. Here is have a it consists of a rider which have its own animations. For animations we uses like there is an animation system for in Unreal Engine.
These are the blueprints which can be used to develop a game, which can be used for
Uh,
animation or any
uh,
kind of properties.
mm, there is some blank space for uh, adjusting this animations. Like for turning there is one blank Blend space in which we have left and right motions. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Also, there is any different set of animations for our vehicles. Like this is a animation controller for our vehicle that when our wheel will get rotate, in which direction it will get rotate, and rotation for our steering
Ayush, can
wheels.
you zoom in there and can you show us some of the properties?
Yes, sir. Here is a wheel
Explain this
handler.
complete flow.
Here is a wheel handler which, and after that there is a suspension which is currently looking at front wheel. By setting up this property, it picks its rotation towards its front wheel. So, yeah. After setting up all the transform and rotations, we just put it back to our car. Also, for handling this animations and all these stuffs, we have to set up the physics for this car. uh, like all the bodies area and the tires which generally collides with land, and all the areas we have to place a collision detection over that area. Okay.
This
Like
balls stuff that you see are actually the colliders, which will guide the game engine to understand the collision between two things. If your collision is in inverted direction, then when you press forward, your car will be moving into the backward direction. Or when you want to turn the car, then it won't turn. So this part is pretty important for any type of games to set up the colliders, even if it is a 2D game or it is a 3D game. In both, you need to show or you need to guide the game engine that on what objects the physics will be applied. Based on colliders only, the physics gets applied to different objects in the game. Like you cannot bypass a wall, so that's because of a collider, but you can jump through a window, that's because of the partial colliders which are placed. Yes, Ayush, you can continue.
okay, after setting up all the collisions and animations, our vehicle is ready to just go on track, and we can just play it with play it with. Okay.
Perfect, Ayush, and thank you for this demo. The reason to show this game was that I can show you a perfect game that we have built previously, but I don't think that is going to explain you a lot of things. This is a game in development that we are still working on. There has been more progress than what you have actually saw. But this game gives you an idea that how easy it could be to make a car racing game, or how easy it is to set up physics, or what is the process to set up different objects and different things into the environment. As you can see, the lighting, texturing, and everything else, like you can see the road, everything looks realistic. So Unreal Engine gives you this benefit that if you place an object, it automatically renders it as per the real world components and shows it to you in a very realistic way. So this is all about the basics of gaming industry and the options that you have for your career into it. So please let me know if there are any queries, and from there we can continue further.
So, everyone, now it's time for the most awaited part of the event where you all get to ask your doubts and queries and get expert advice on them. We have received a lot of queries and about the session shows how enthralled students are about the session's contents and they surely want to know more about it. So we will read the questions one by one.
Perfect.
Athar Joshi of CSB has a query about how can we apply to work in companies like Ubisoft, IO, Rockstar, etc. And what are the requirements to work there?
First thing is that you need to identify in which stream you want to go. You want to be a designer or you want to be a developer. I'm taking the case that you want to be a developer, then you have to be very thorough with the game engine you are working on. The problem, if you want to go into such companies, your training with Unreal Engine or your training with Unity game engine won't help you to get a job there. They require a basic understanding of game development, a basic understanding of physics, because such big companies use their own game engines to develop a game. It is the mid-sized companies which are using Unreal Engine or Unity game engine for game development. So I suggest you should work with some medium scale companies into any of the game engines, being make a good portfolio that you have worked on different type of games, including from 2D games, hyper casual games to AAA games, and then I think you should apply for Ubisoft or any other big companies.
Okay, thank you, sir. Second question is from Shaurya. How do you generate animations in the game?
For 2D games, it is called sprite animations, where you need a Photoshop designer who will create multiple sequences of an image. Like if you have watched Mickey Mouse cartoons from 1980s or Tom and Jerry cartoons of the same age, we have to follow the same approach to create animations into 2D games. They create series of a timeline, and you have to run it on a different frame rate to generate an animation. For 3D games, it is a bit complicated. You need to design a 3D character, then you need to rig it. Rigging is a process where you need to add bones and muscles into it to so that game engine can identify that what objects, what parts of your body are movable. Then this body passes to animator and they create the animations. So it is a separate file which is linked with the model, and then you import both of them into the game engine, and then you can apply the animations.
So the next question is from a second year student of ETC. He is asking about the difference between the 2D and 3D game.
It's it's very basic actually. Like you are sitting on a laptop or on a computer, so the tabletop that you see is 2D game, and the room you are sitting in is a 3D environment. So this is the difference. Like if something is running on a plane, it is 2D. You need to interact with two dimensions, which is X and Y. There is no Z dimension into a 2D game. While when you work on a 3D game, you need to manage all the dimensions parallelly. So building a 3D game is a bit more complicated because messing up one parameter can mess up the complete game. Any one of you, if you have played Cyberpunk, which was quite awaited game last year, so it is having a lot of bugs, like the guns are going into the wall, or the car can crash into empty spaces. So this is all because there are some parameters which are missing in 3D. So this is the basic difference.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is from Anupam Pande. Minimum hardware requirements to run Unreal Engine.
I think Ayush would be a better candidate to answer that.
Sure, sir.
So for running Unreal Engine, we at least need 6 core processor and 16 GB RAM with a 1650 graphic card. Yeah.
But this is a minimum requirement, and if you want to build a hyper realistic game, I won't suggest go with this configuration. You need 64 GB RAM and a very strong end graphic card to run an Unreal Engine. If you want to make a game like PUBG or Call of Duty, definitely you need a high configuration than that.
Anshul from computer science branch wants to ask the problem faced by a new developer in the gaming industry.
It's a very nice question actually. See, the problem is about imagination. Like you people play games. Even if we take an example of Candy Crush, no one is ever thinking about that how this game was made. Or when we are playing PUBG, we don't try to understand that how this thing can be made. So when you start developing a game, the basic problem is that you cannot replicate the thought process that a user will experience. So this is the gap between an experienced developer and a fresher developer. So for and you can solve this very easily. Like when you are playing games, try to notice the small things, that how the programmer has planned that how a scope will work, or how the gravity is working with different guns, or how a recoil is working with different guns. I'm not asking about the exact physics or exact mechanics of it, but yes, try to make your own notes. Try to understand that why it has been done this way, why it has not been done that way. So I think this will help you initially with this stuff.
Thank you, sir. Next question is from Shivang Srivastav from AI first year. That is, what kind of database is used in games?
There are two types of thing when we are working with games. Like one is the internal database which comes with your game and all the data is stored. So that can be into anything. It can be NoSQL or SQLite or whatever you prefer. The other type of data is hosted on server, on AWS server or anything, and the data is transferred using different type of APIs. And the format of data transfer is always JSON. It is in JSON arrays. Like when you see a leaderboard, so all the data from different players is synced onto the server, and then it is showed on multiple devices. So these are the two type of databases which are used.
So Vinay Singh Chauhan of first year computer science branch asked that there is a rise in realistic games and so in addiction cases. However, the effect on children is a debated topic. There is always a sort of ban and restriction hanging on the games. How this affects the job security trends in the gaming industry?
It is not affecting your job if a game is having some sort of limitations. Like 5 years back, every game was having a deadline that you can play 10 games or 10 matches, and then you need to take a rest of 30 minutes to play the next match. And even in Candy Crush or any other game, you get some limited number of lives, and after that you need to wait for 17 or 18 minutes. So this is introduced just to control the user base, that they don't get addicted too much and they don't do something stupid in their life. But it doesn't affect your job security or your job role or your growth anywhere.
So next question is from Atharv Joshi. That is, what kind of coding is done in game development? And can you please show some specimen of code so that we can get an idea?
Definitely. Ayush?
Uh, yes, I'm sharing my screen.
Sure. Meanwhile, I'll answer the question. The
Uh,
scripting is always object oriented, and it depends on the game engine you are using. Like if you are working with Unity, then it is always C sharp in which you need to code. There is option for JavaScript, but it is complicated. So everyone prefers C sharp mostly for Unity. In Unreal, as I have told before, that the coding is done with C and C++. And but the base mechanism is that how well you manage the code. Ayush, you should explain the code.
so for I'm showing this code for our car. In this section, here is in this project settings in the input manager, we set up all the keys whichever we need for controlling our car.
Can you
Like
highlight the section, Ayush, while explaining?
mm, like okay,
Means
like
the
here
line
is
of code
an
you are explaining.
okay, sir. Mm, okay, okay, okay. In Unreal Engine, whenever we have to give any keys, we just have to map it in this input section in the project settings. Like for W and S, we have to use throttles, and for steering, we use A and D, and all these setups for mouse movement and move right, move left. Okay. And here we also use blueprint. Like for moving right, we just set our vehicle movement to give its direction towards
Ayush, your
right.
screen
And
is not visible.
Yes, sir.
oh, okay, okay.
Yes, now it is.
Okay. For moving right or left, we just set a key and move right. And by getting access value, we just get the value from ranging -1 to 1. And according to it, we just move it by using a steering value towards left and right. And same goes with the move forward. Here we set a key like W and S for move forward and move backward. And here we determines whether we just going backward or forward. And after that there is a condition for hand brake which will stop this throttle. And after satisfying all the condition, our vehicle will get a throttle based on its direction. uh, this was a sample which we use in blueprints in Unreal Engine. Also we do scripting in Unreal Engine which is in C++. Okay. Uh, so here is the C++ code. Uh, this is a code for a buggy which were using in our racing game. Spring like this is a code which uh, C++ code which consists of a pointer and variable assignment. Yeah, yeah. These are all these include files, header files, which is given by Unreal Engine. So
The
by
basic thing is that the game engines now provide you with everything you want to do. All you need to do is you need to remember, you need to understand that what you want to do with the game. Like here, you if you can check out the libraries which are included, you can see like vehicle track point explains itself that yeah, if you want to track the position of the vehicle on the map, this would be the library which you need to use. So as I said, if you are understanding that what you want to develop, most of the part is handled by the game engine itself. Yes, Ayush.
like for particle system, we have to use a particle component .h file. For player control, for vehicle controller, we have to use player slash vehicle player controller. These all libraries are given by Unreal Engine, and this is our constructor as we used to create in C++. First class name in the uh, again class name for construction. Here spring arm, which spring arm generally consists of our camera, which give it a flexible movement for our camera. Yeah. Then there is a component camera, we just give it some properties and the setup camera field of view. Then for our engine sounds, we have attached some attachments in there and engine audio. Also, there is some skid audio. Whenever we slide our vehicle, it will give us a audio of skid, and all this setup of the properties and initialization of these values done over here.
Basically, as per the question, these are the type of codes you need to write when you are developing a game. When you start developing a game, it's only the imagination that yeah, if I write this, this is going to happen. Then you need to run it. Then you need to change the parameters in the physics properties or in the colliders in different places to make things work. I hope this answers the question.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all the queries. I hope people are really satisfied with your answers. And now I am really profoundly elated to take an opportunity to welcome Mr. Aditya Makbre, sir, for the vote of thanks. Aditya, sir, is a computer science instructor and faculty support of ESEL, IIT DAVV.
Hello, sir.
Okay, hello sir. Hello Pande sir. How are you, sir?
I am doing extremely great, sir. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Okay. Sir, I am also good. And sir, thank you very much, sir, from the IIT family, on behalf of IT family, and especially from the ESL, and for spending time with our student. And I must have missed the great session. I think because of some work, I was not able to attend the session. But definitely from the feedback, I am observing that it will be a it was it will be proved to be a good session for our students, right? As I think.
I hope so, sir.
Yes, sir. So. And sir, basically, sir, from the ESL, there are some more faculty members, just like our head is Dr. Shashi Prakash sir and Ashish Panchal sir and Shailen Patak sir are also. But due to some busyness, they have not joined the session. But definitely in future, sir, you might have known some of these faculties, sir. Do you know about the Shashi Prakash sir, sir?
Actually, I am not the one who was in contact with them. We have Dr.
Okay.
Devin Puntambekar with us in the
Okay.
office, and he is in close touch with everyone in DAVV and many other institute. He has been into education industry for like 30 years. So
Okay. Okay.
he is the one who gave me this opportunity so that I can talk to these students today.
Okay. So basically, sir, in the ESL, what we are doing, we are just encouraging the students for developing their own ideas, and we are trying to provide the incubation for them also, so that they can grow within these 4 years. So this is one of the motive of the ESL, and that's why we conduct these kind of sessions. And the great thing is, sir, is definitely I would like to mention here, all the things are being managed by these IET ESL students. We are just a kind of what we say, just our names are included here, but all the efforts uh, are being made by these students. So
Yes, I'm
basically,
aware
मैं
of
तो
it.
यही बोलना
He told me that he is in touch with the students and they are hyper excited about the things. And I'm really glad that I was a part of it.
Yes, sir. We are also very thankful for sir for your time here, and so definitely I think that students might have gained something from this session, and definitely they will be able to boost up their skills in the field of gaming. So this is one of the great
100%, sir, and it
perceptions
is
developed in our
really a
mind.
growing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a growing industry and it is an interesting industry because what you are developing, you can play it and you can enjoy it on your own. And sir, I would
Yes, sir,
like to add
definitely.
one thing. If there are any more queries which are unanswered, then you can drop it to Mohi and I'll email everyone with the answers as soon as possible.
Okay, okay. Okay, sir. So again, from the family of IET, sir, and ESL, I would like to thank you. And then, sir, and I hope that in future also you will spare some time for us, and so
Definitely, I
that
will.
the upcoming students will get also will also get encouraged and will get some more knowledge. So, sir, thank you very
100%, sir.
much.
Not a problem. Thanks a
Yes,
lot.
sir.
Thank you,
Okay.
students.
Thank you so much, sir. It was
So,
really an interesting session. We learned a lot.
thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
can we
Anything, sir?
take a small screenshot? Can I request everyone to turn on the cameras and we can take a small screenshot?
Sure.
Everyone are requested to turn on the cameras, please. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pandey, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Uh,
Have a great day. Yes.
Yes.
Someone was saying anything?
Satvik, any query? Yes.
no, sir. I was.
Sorry.
There is a message for the attendees. So we need to fill out the feedback form. The link for the feedback form is in the chat box, and please do fill it and tell us about the session because feedback is something which is necessary for improvement.
Yes, and it will help me improve myself. So it
Yes.
is quite important.
And
So
Pandey
there
sir,
is
one
no
more
need for you
request.
to improve.
In future, we would like to welcome you physically in our institute. So, sir, please, sir, find some
Yes,
time when we best.
100%, and that would be better because this is the first
Yeah.
time I've been talking to people over this chat, this
Okay.
virtual platform. So definitely, I'll try to come up with.
Definitely, sir. In future, basically, sir, what happens? We conduct various kind of these stuffs in our sessions. So our session will start again in the month of after the 10th of July. So
Okay.
at that time, we will feel pleasure to invite you in our institute. So definitely, sir.
Definitely, sir. You can let me know anytime, and I will definitely come, sir. Not a
Yeah.
problem.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Okay. Good day, all of you. Okay.